How is everyone doing? I want to take some time today, in the midst of everything happening with the COVID epidemic, to really focus on relationship building. And I wanted to connect with you. If you're out there and you're listening to this and you're looking for a way to build your relationship, to nourish it. Maybe right now your relationship is like this plant you see in your garden, and the leaves are looking a little sick, right? The stem is not looking too good. You don't just want to leave it there because if you leave it there, it's just going to continue to dwindle and to look more and more in poor health. So imagine that you're that plant, your relationship is that plant. Let's look at what can we do during this time. And I see a lot in the news where COVID is causing this, I guess, this message of people just saying, too much of you, I'm done. I want to separate. I want to push you to go in the other direction. Often when I work with couples and they come in my office, we're looking at, man, I wish I had more time. I wish we had more time together. I'm always at work, you're always at work, etc., etc. Now, I want to ask you, during this time with COVID, maybe your relationship is like mine. Right now, I'm working from home. My wife is working from home. So it does give us a different opportunity, because prior, maybe like in your relationship, you were in your office, your wife was, or your partner, they were in their office or their place of work. And being far away, distant from each other for so long, it caused this gap, right? So now that you're not far away from each other, right? Now that you are literally probably in the same room, become creative, grow creative. Ask yourself, how can you nourish your relationship? And I'll share some really simple strategies to utilize right here. I have some coffee. And if you know me, I'm a big coffee fan. So I share that with you, not to discuss my love of coffee, but because the first thing I do in the morning is I wake up and I go and get my wife a cup of coffee. Now, it's an act of kindness, right? And we know the five love languages, Gary Chapman, big shout out there. So that's an act of service, showing love, showing support. I can get up and not give you a cup of coffee, right? Or not give her a cup of coffee. And maybe you're listening out there, you're like, you know what? I do that too. I give my partner a cup of coffee. So good. Now let's look at taking it to the next level. Is there appreciation? Is there some sort of summary there where you sit down and you say, hey, how was your coffee? Or I appreciate you bringing me that coffee. These are little factors or variables that we often skip. Imagine you at your work and you do a good job, right? Or you feel that you do a good job. But then you notice that even though you're doing a good job, you don't receive that affirmation, that validation, that praise. And we know that we don't always want to walk around this world seeking affirmation, seeking praise or validation. But boy, does it feel good when we receive it. And it especially feels good when we receive it from our partner. So now that you're at home during COVID, play with the idea. See what it's like for the next 7 days where you engage with your partner in an act of service, an act of kindness. And then your partner provides you with praise. And then you both just have a little conversation on it. Like, I really appreciate that you brought me coffee. It makes me feel this way. I look forward to it in the morning. Another area that I want you to look at, during this COVID is nourishing your time to do things together. Having meals together, making meals together, playing family board games and activities. Overall, just focus on before COVID, when you both were running, right, in this rat race that we call the world that we live in, and you were running in different directions, fulfilling your lives, if you will. What about that created a gap where you didn't have time to do certain things? And then now, how can you utilize COVID to give your family system, you and your partner, children are involved, all of you, time to engage in activities that grow and nourish that plant that we started to talk about, right? And the nourishment we're going to give that plant, we're going to give it sun, we're going to give it some good soil, we're going to water it. So in your relationship, I ask your partner, are you giving it sun? Are you giving it water? Are you nourishing and giving it some good soil? And is there consistency? I can't just go out there in my garden and water it on a Tuesday and expect that a month from now things are going to be great. Same thing for my relationship. I can't engage in an act of kindness, give my wife a hug and a kiss on a Tuesday and expect that if I skip out the rest of the week, things are going to be okay. We want to make sure that we show up for each other, that we're present, and we do it on a consistent base. Thank you for sharing space with me. I hope that, today's conversation was supportive to your relationship. If you haven't done so already, share this. Share this with anyone in your community that's looking for ways to move forward in life, ways to overcome challenges. Subscribe if you haven't, leave a review. Let me know how we're doing. I'm always looking for ways to grow and to move forward. Have an amazing day.